Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday, the 14th of November, 2019. It's a pleasure to be with you today, as always. I'm using the Book of Shadows Tarot, which it's an okay title, I think, but what I really like is the as above, so below bit, because that's very much what astrology is based on. Horned God here in the back. So let's have a look at what the cards want you to be aware of. I'm going to give the cards a shuffle. Initiation 20, so that's judgment. 3 of fire is the 3 of wands. And then 2 of fire, which is 2 of wands, and it's Mercury, it's Hermes. How interesting, because we've got Mercury retrograde at the moment. It's amazing. What always amazes me is how the tarot, in its own unique way, picks up on the energy. There's Mercury in retrograde. Astrologically, we know that, but the tarot is telling us as well. It's amazing. And I love it. So, initiation. Here we have this, this is the Book of Shadows Tarot. So we have this young spellcaster who is created a circle and who's praying to the Mother Goddess and the Father God. Usually the 20th card of the Major Arcana is Judgment, and it's an angel blowing a trumpet to wake that person up. But in this deck, the person has taken the initiative to connect with these higher beings. So that's one thing that's going to be super easy for you today, is to connect with higher beings. So spirituality, if you've always struggled to meditate, and I spoke to someone recently and he said, yeah, I'm not going to meditate just to meditate and get even more in my head. And I said, well, it's not about getting more into your head. It's about getting through your head and out the other side and connecting to a power bigger than yourself. But he didn't want to hear that. I don't think he was ready for that. You know, some people are ready at their own pace. I went to my first AA meeting at 18. Deep down, I knew that I had alcoholism, but I wasn't ready to do anything about it at 18. Had to take another decade of trying to convince me. The 3 of Wands, which is Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, and Venus in astrology is in Sagittarius at the moment. I'm sorry if you don't like me mixing the two, but the cards are telling me to, and I just so happen to know a little bit about astrology, so I can add that knowledge in. So Venus is in Sagittarius, adventurous, and the 3 of fire is usually a man standing on the top of a hill. He's got 3 wands, creating a doorway, and he's looking out over the sea, looking at the ships. And it usually means looking at the future, traveling, broadening your horizons, doing things that you love and adore. And in this case, they've changed it to Venus coming out of the ocean here, like in that painting that everyone learns about in art history. The Venus de Milo, is it? Excuse me if I'm wrong. No, it's not the Venus de Milo. It's the Venus being born out of the sea. I think the Milo might be a statue. I mean, Venus coming out of the sea, being born in a shell. That's the myth, and there's a picture that goes along with it, even though I don't know even though I don't know the name. Sorry. So it's about looking at your future and saying, what is it that I love? Where do I want to go? In this deck, it's saying, hey, I'm actually showing you, because you've made a connection with your higher self, with these higher beings, you're being shown what you love and what you ought to do in your future, because Venus pops out of his shell and confronts you. It's like, hello. Usually it's a guy and we look at his back and he's looking out at the world. So he gets to choose. In this instance, they flip the responsibility again. You take the initiative today to connect with something bigger. And because you take the initiative, the universe reflects that and takes the initiative and opposes you and says, here, this is what you love. So you immediately get out what you put in. So if anyone watching this today, if you're struggling with your life purpose, what you're supposed to do in work, why are you on this planet right now? If that question is of interest to you and you don't have an answer, today is the day to take the initiative and to meditate on that. You will be shown what it is you love or how you are loved and how you're meant to express that on planet Earth, and you'll be given a blueprint. So it's a great day to listen and to learn. Finally, we have the Two of Fire, and the Two of Wands is usually, again, another guy in the regular tarot. He holds the world in the palm of his hand and he stands between a doorway, and it's also about taking control of your life and looking at what is my future going to be. And that's what the Two of Wands is. So you connect with the higher realms. You are shown what it is you love. And once you know that, you put it into practice, you get practical about it, and you start going. That's what this energy is about. But the cards know that I know astrology, so they wouldn't have shown me a Mercury in retrograde unless they knew I was aware of it. So the retrograde comes in despite the fact that you connect with these higher beings and the higher realms, and despite the fact that you're being shown what it is you love to do and what your purpose is, that you can trust because it doesn't come through information, it comes through your heart. So who cares if it's Mercury retrograde? If Venus was retrograde, then we'd have to worry. So the message comes in. The problem appears when you actually have to put that into practice on planet Earth. I know this isn't planet Earth. I know this is Mercury. Hot and burnt by the sun. We've got the salamanders here. But Hermes is Mercury in Roman Greek mythology. He is the messenger of the gods, or the messenger god. He's got these wings. Here he's got the caduceus, which is healing, and then he's got wings on his shoes as well. So he was about delivering messages. And messages right now are in retrograde, so there is potential for miscommunication and for things to go wrong. So when you take your dream and you see it in your mind's eye, and then you build for the house, for instance, and you get the architect to design the house that you told him you wanted, and he misunderstands and does you like a Mediterranean style house, whereas you wanted minimalist, modern, and elegant. Miscommunication. The biggest gift that you can get out of today is going within and connecting to these two. When I was younger, it's another little anecdote, sorry if you hate these, but it makes it more relatable for me. When I was younger, I grew up in fundamentalist Christian South Africa. All the South Africans watching, you guys live in a country where Christianity really is taken at a very literal level in a lot of the churches. In some of the churches, of course, it's a little bit more reserved and restrained. But fundamentally, they're all fundamentalists, sorry. I can't speak. But the major vibe I experienced this a lot. Like people at university would stop me and say, have you found Christ yet? And all of this stuff. And I'd always be like, no, he doesn't want me. Or it'd be like, yeah, I have. And we fell out, or some smart ass remark, you know. And for a time, I actually got into Wicca, and I did pray to the Mother and Father God for a while. That's what worked for me for a time. It didn't work for me once I read the Course in Miracles and did all this other spiritual work. But that was part of my evolution, and that's where initiation, that's what initiation is all about. It's part of your evolution. So today is the first day of your evolution by, sorry I'm hesitating so much, but by taking your spiritual self and really taking the initiative to initiate yourself, so to speak. And because of that, whatever you put out, you get back. Remember, law of attraction. And that's why the universe then says, actually, this is your life purpose. You'd love being an actress and you'd also be successful. But then when you actually go for auditions, you're like, fine, I'll be an actress. You go for auditions, you don't get any part after going on 20 auditions. You're like, what was I thinking? That was like a fantasy. The universe showed me that I'm supposed to be an actress, but the real world is obviously telling me another thing. Don't listen to the real world. Go to the 21st audition. That's when you'll get the part. And wait for Mercury to end on the 20th of November, which is coming closer and closer now. And focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. So focus on gathering that amazing information which is going to give you purpose and direction in life. And don't worry so much about putting it into practice today. And keep it for the future. When you're not so inspired, but you're very practical. You know, everything has its opposite. So this is a time of being really inward, spiritual, intuitive, psychic, imaginative, creative, not practical. And then there are other times when you're only focused on building and being practical and creating, and anyone comes with ideas and you're like, I'm not interested, I'm too busy, thank you. So make use of the balance being on this side for a change. And don't worry if you don't get too much done externally. Having that idea and understanding what it is you're truly meant to do is invaluable. That is priceless. Because I've said this so many times, but you know, the people who know at 7 that they want to be a vet, they're blessed because they can then live their whole life with that goal in mind and behave in a way that will get them to be a vet. If you have no idea, then you behave and you just take whatever comes along, and then life kind of forces you into situations. And that's why it's important that we plan and manifest our lives and that we take control back. And this is a day where you can take back control of what you truly love. And all of these things that have gone wrong, like you did that job you hated and then you got into one that was even worse, and then you ended up in one even worse but that paid really well, and now you're in the one that you really hate. So, and you're like, how can I undo all of that? My whole life's experience has been in that field. I can't do anything else now. I've invested so much. No, if you hate it, don't invest any more. Start looking at what it is you love and then slowly allow yourself to transition into what it is you love. And this Mercury retrograde teaches us all about slowly and patience, because things have been so crazy lately with communication and all that. Number wise, we've got 20 and 3. 23 and 2 is 5. 25, 2 and 5 is 7. 7 is mind and creativity. So that sticks out, the mind, the Mercury retrograde, the problems in communicating and getting things done practically. The communication with the higher realms, which bypass the brain and go straight to the heart chakra. Take the initiative to make friends with these people, and your own personal Venus will appear. Your muse. So have a wonderful day. If you'd like a private reading with me, please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. By the way, let me know what you think. My mother, I was on the phone to her this morning, and she said, I like the old website. It was like really like loud and clear, and each button was right there. And now it's like small writing, and I don't really know. So I haven't had that experience from most of you guys. Most of you guys have really liked the new website. But if you have any problems accessing it, or you think that the old way was, or if you know the font is too small, or if you agree with my mum, for instance, then let me know, and because we're always tweaking to make things better, you know? I mean, it may seem like, you know, I just do the same thing every day, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. So we do try and make everything as user-friendly as possible, obviously, because yeah. So have a, what was I saying? Yeah. So if you want a personal reading, then please order it on my website and leave some feedback on this video in the comment section. That'd be awesome. In my personal readings, I use tarot, astrology, and numerology. I draw up your birth chart. I can see what your life purpose is. I can see what you love. I can see what your vocational talents are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, maybe how you've got yourself trapped in a situation and how to unravel that and how to get out of that situation and back on track. So if you have any questions, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, hit the subscribe button and share the video online, please. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.